Hello everyone and welcome to Against the Storm. This game is a roguelite city builder where you have to build up your settlement. You get orders uh, which you have to complete to earn favor, and you need a certain amount of favor to win the game. Now, while time progresses, the storm actually becomes worse, which has a negative effect on your population and will turn into impatience. So if you don't finish the tasks fast enough, you actually will lose the game. Now, Against the Storm recently came out with its version 1.0. It left early access. I've played a bit of this game in early access, but it's been a while, so I wanted to take a look and see what changed in version 1.0. So I've started a new game, and probably need to get reacquainted a bit, but let's get started. This is I've started a new game, and basically you have like a cycle for the Blightstorm hits, and that basically resets your entire game. And between games, you can earn resources which you can use to progress, get permanent upgrades. So that's where the permanent roguelite progression comes in a bit. Now we have to place our first settlement, and based on where you put this settlement, you get modifiers and your terrain looks the way it does. So for example, if we were to place it right here, we would be in the Royal Woodlands, and we would be near the Monastery of the Holy Flame, which adds a negative modifier, which means we cannot forbid consumption of certain goods, and we cannot favor any species. Now what that does, normally we can go into later, but as you can see, it does give you a special reward if we manage to finish this map. You can also see, based on the terrain, we have different effects, which you can all view in the next screens. But we have to work to this seal. We have to reforge the seal within a certain cycle to get extra rewards. So let's put this right about here. We could also pick this one, but I like this one better. And let's see what all the effects are. So the next screens, we can select our difficulty, add it to veteran, which will add blight, rot, and corruption. That means we have to fight the corruption, clean the corruption, and that adds a different modifier as well, which we'll see after the first storm hits. Let's check the conditions first. So we have one positive effect, and we have 4 negative effects. What those are, we don't know yet. It's all based on the terrain. We know that we have additional effects, the Monastery of the Holy Flame, and we have a biome effect because we're in the woodlands. The Royal Woodlands are very lush and rich in timber, so trees give more wood, which is great. Now we also know that we can find these type of resources, and we can find trees that give us wood, resin, plant fiber, and eggs. We need to get 14 reputation points to win. We have 14 impatient points before we lose. There's an average amount of fertile soil, and this is what we'll get if we manage to win. And we can kind of determine what we start with. So the kind of people that join us on our first expedition. So we have the foxes. That's a new race. Actually, I haven't played with them yet. We also can choose between foxes and beavers, or human and beavers, and depending on what they bring a certain amount of goods with them. So the foxes bring vegetables, roots, reed, and a group of 2 villagers. These have meat, reed, barrels, and villagers, and these have insects, mushrooms, and fabric. And obviously each faction is good at certain tasks, which could give them extra resolve, so happiness basically, or a chance to increase production if they are in the correct production buildings. But on the other hand, each faction has their specific needs as well. So, for example, the foxes are highly susceptible to starvation. Their needs are porridge, skewers, pickled goods, training gear, wine, and tea. Whereas the beavers are gifted woodworkers and enjoy engineering, and they need biscuits, pickled goods, goats, ale, scrolls, and wine. Now, I am a bit tempted to go for the humans and beavers because those are factions I know, and I know the humans are good at farming, and the beavers are good at woodworking, which is very convenient. Even though this might be a bit less, we do get a third faction though, which is randomized. So those could be either lizards, I think, harpies, or foxes. And besides that, we have a couple of points we can spend to get extra resources unlocked at the beginning, unlock an additional perk, or unlock an additional building blueprint. What I usually like to do is at least start with some extra wood so we can get up and running a bit more quick. And let's see, gain 1 additional cornerstone reroll charge could be helpful as well, I guess. What did we find in types of resources? Clay. So let's add some clay as well, since we know we can find clay and turn it into bricks. Got us some food, extra villagers maybe, and some... Let's go with some meat. We'll see. Then we press embark, and we'll start our map. Now, when the map starts, I usually like to pause the game immediately and get my bearings, basically. Have a look at my surrounding, and these are the forest mystery. So the green one is the positive effect, which will only be applicable in the drizzle, which is like the first season, which is the golden dust. Some raindrops seem to have a golden hue. Gain 5 clearance water for every 10 drizzle water. So the water is used to power up your factories if they are connected to pipes, to your rainwater network. And each season has their own water supply, and certain types of building need a certain type of water. So I'm not sure if this is really a good mystery. The negatives though, looming darkness, it's active from hostility 1, and the longer we take, the higher our hostility is, so the more of these negative effects will be active at the same time, which will lower our resolve. And as soon as this little number here drops below 0, people will actually start leaving. And once people start leaving, it's usually you're in like a vicious circle kind of thing. But the first one is looming darkness. The rampaging storm stifles the spirit of all living creatures. An additional stack of this effect is added for each hostility level, and each stack gives up -4 to global resolve, which is this little number here. Then from hostility 2, bright rod cysts consume the storm's energy and become more resilient. Burning cysts take 5 seconds longer. So the cysts are what you need to fight to get rid of the corruption, basically. Hostility 3 is acid rain. Recipe producing building materials yield 50% fewer goods. From hostility 4 we get unnatural erosion. The wind and rain in this region seems more destructive than usual. Pay 5 oil with each storm. If you don't do, random resource nodes will be destroyed. Yikes, that's a tough one. And the nauseous spores. Time between breaks is reduced by 33% for each villager with this effect. Prevent it till the funnel needs services. Okay. Sure, we'll see what we can do. So this is how we start. We start with this ancient hearth, which is basically the safe haven of our village. It has a firekeeper, and each firekeeper does a thing. In our case, a beaver as a firekeeper will reduce fuel consumption by 20%. And we can upgrade this if we meet certain requirements. This is our warehouse. Everything is stored here, and everything needs to be brought to either the warehouse or a production building that needs a certain material. And we have all these uncovered areas here. So if we cut down the trees to unlock this area, there's something in this area always, like resources or an event. And obviously we have these are dangerous glades, which have a time-based event that you need to solve or suffer the consequences. And you have that's also a dangerous one. Let's see if we have the forbidden glade, which is even worse. But if you manage to solve them, they have the best benefits. So let's get started. We have 11 people. They're all homeless right now, and they're also without a job. So anyone not assigned is automatically a builder. And the main resource we need is wood. So I like to put these next to trees because that would limit the travel distance the woodcutters have to walk so they chop more quickly, basically. And then we have roots, which is food, and with a chance to gather herbs as well. And we have clay, so that's very convenient. Let's grab forager's camp, place this as well, and the stonecutter's camp, this right here, and unpause. Now we also have, while they're building, we also have this. We have 3 reputation points, which we can use to get cards that unlock new buildings for this specific run. So depending on these cards you might unlock, or you are looking for, your playthrough of this specific map might go through a certain way. For example, if you find all these farm stuff, you might think it's beneficial to look for a fertile soil, or you can use the forester hut to produce resin and crystallized dew, which you can use in all kinds of buildings, or all the options basically. Now, because we have humans and they are good at farming, tempted to go the farming route, and farming for food, that is. So the forester hut, resin, and crystallized dew can be very useful, but it's not actually consumable. So food is always important. So I'm tempted to go for the small farm because we can later use the grain to produce ale as well. So as our first pick, let's choose a small farm. Leather worker, kiln, weaver. Let's go with the leather worker. And you notice these stars between the products as well. So the higher the number of stars, the less base resources are needed to craft this item. So for example, a brewery with 3 stars only uses 2 grain to craft ale, while 1-star ale production building uses 5 grain. I'm just picking random numbers, but you know what I mean. Let's grab the carpenter so we can produce planks. And that was it. Let's grab some baths as well. Because that increases walk speed. And let's assign some of the dwarves. As you can see, right from the start, we actually only have 3 workers left. So you can expand quite quickly up until you need more workers. So that's always the balance with this game. And let's mark these trees. Let's skip this for now. And let me put this to avoid glades except mark so they don't randomly chop up this glade and start my event. Now one thing that popped here is this button in the top right, which is a cornerstone. So every cycle, so a cycle is drizzle, clearance, and storm. A new year starts, and then you can pick a cornerstone. And it basically is like an extra buff to your level. And these are random. You can decline them, which will get you some gold. You can reroll it if you have those charges we looked at earlier. So the woodcutter song, for every 20 felled trees, global resolve is increased by 3 for 120 seconds. That must actually be pretty good. Traders will have one more perk of blueprint for sale. Water is not only used for to power engines. Woodcutting speed will increase by 10% for every 150 units of water using rain engines. Not there yet, so I think we'll go with the woodcutter song. Global resolve high is always a good thing, especially if you can fell 20 trees every 2 minutes. Then we'll have a permanent increase. I will definitely start building more woodcutters once we have the people. So I'm pretty convinced that will happen. Increase speed just a little bit. And the next thing popped, and these are the orders. So every order you complete gives a reward. So let's pick one. And in this case, we can choose. So we either deliver building materials, which will give us this, and a reputation point, which we'll need 14 of to win. Or we deliver 35 wood to get parts and villagers. Now I'm tempted to. This reward seems better. The extra plank production, bit of bricks, and some tools, which we have none. But the building materials might be a bit more complex to produce from the start, but we'll definitely get there. So let's pick that. Choose the next one. 18 beavers resolve for 30 seconds. We're not getting there anytime soon. Need to trade routes. We can do that and pack of crops. Guess we can do that if we go the farming route. Pick that. Dangerous glade events. Build a geyser pump. Or, and this is a special one. These are like timed events, which have the best rewards, but they are very time sensitive. And if you don't have this production setup, you'll probably not be able to do this. So this is out of the question. I think we'll have to go for this. Finish off the glades. Now let's see if we can build the food workstation, so we can actually see what is needed to get those building materials ready. I built the wrong thing. I needed the makeshift posts, which is fine because we'll probably need the workstation as well. Now I do want to limit this because these are all 0 stars production, so they will need a lot of resources to actually build, to actually create these items, right? So we'll change them out for the better version later. The building material needs planks, which is fine, I suppose. How much? Needed 3. So let's limit this to 4. We don't need the crops or the provisions. Let's get 1 human in here. That should be good. So, and there we have our first glade uncovered. So this glade has 2 clay deposits, 2 broccoli patches, and a drizzle water geyser, which we can use the water pump on later, or the geyser pump. Nothing that important. Let them cut down the other trees as well to get some more room in here. And now the drizzle spas are actually in the clearance of year 1. So after about 3 minutes, we'll enter the first storm, and then we'll see our resolve dropping. And then the first new year will start after that. But first things first. Planks are being produced. Let's see if you can use some copper ore, which I don't think we're actually using right now. Let's also activate some fabric, so at least we can start some building materials. And get those people to work. Now I don't want to immediately uncover this dangerous glade because the limited amount of resources we have right now, this event that's in here could prove difficult. So we are going to move the woodcutters camp in a pit and move them over here probably. So uncover this area, get a bit more room in here. And as you can see, the beavers, they were good at woodworking, right? So because they are in the right production or in the right building, they have a 10% chance to double their yield, whereas the human doesn't. So it can be pretty helpful to have the correct faction in the correct building. Let's see if we can find some fertile soil in one of these glades. Let's look at our buildings that we have. Shelf for planks. Now, houses are important, especially later on. We can build shelters that doesn't offer any specific happiness bonus, but if we build the correct houses for the correct factions, then they do offer bonus. But they're pretty expensive to make since they can only house like 2 residents. We do have our building materials, so let me pause this right now. We don't actually need to be building more. Now the storm hits. As you can see, only this effect is active right now. So it's a -4 to global resolve. And that isn't very hurtful just yet. So it'll drop from 15 to 11 over time. That's fine. It's still okay. Meanwhile, we can deliver this order and get these rewards. And because we have a reputation point, we unlocked a new blueprint. So let's see. The brick oven, the rain mill, the distillery, or the trapper's camp. Don't think we have any use for this right now. Distillery could be useful later on. Flour could be useful later on as well if we find the fertile soil and get some grain. Brick oven is also... Don't like any of these in particular, to be honest. Let's reroll. Bakery. biscuits for flour. 5 for flour and herbs. Artisan goats, but we don't actually have any fabric to begin with. Coal for wood. That could be nice to get some coal. And some jerky for insects and wood. Yes. Let's move this woodworker here. Still have some clay left. Also have some extra clay up here. But it's always a matter of getting enough resources or unlocking enough blades to be able to continue. Otherwise your buildings will not produce anything. Now, because we finished a year, we're actually in year 2 right now, we unlocked a new cornerstone. The woodpecker technique can be quite useful, but only for trees cut down during the storm. Ruddy crown, stained roots appear across the land. Wood production is increased by 1, but harvesting and planting are 25% slower. Not really convenient if we want to go the farm route. Global production speed is 30% faster, but traders will arrive 50% slower. We don't actually have a trading post yet. Tempted to go the woodpecker technique because ideally we can manage to keep the woodcutters active the entire year, but the off chance that isn't happening, so woodcutters, they increase your hostility. So we have 48 hostility because we have 3 woodcutters. So what you can do during the storm is shut down all woodcutting activities, and that will actually lower your hostility, and it might even mean that you don't get these 2 effects, for example, because your hostility is lowered, and then when the next year hits, you reactivate everything. Obviously, if you would do that, then we don't get any benefit from the woodpecker technique, because that we only gain insects for every cut down tree during the storm. Now the other thing that flashes is a newcomer, so we can actually welcome some new people to our village. The beavers and a harpy, or a harpy and a human. And they bring some goods with them. Vegetables, roots and planks, or parts and pipes. I actually want the beavers so I can switch them out in this camp and get that 10% extra chance to double the resource. Get this guild set up, and maybe we can start thinking about producing some coal and some bricks. Let's limit this to 20. Let's get you in there. These are roots, right? Yeah. It's insects and meat, so we're not actually actively collecting them for jerky. Let's limit this to like 20. Get 2 batches in there. So the stonecutter's camp has no deposits nearby. We can just freely move this to the other deposits, which is fine. And let's get our little settlement going. Have any extra resources here? We have the purchase camp that can also gather the broccoli patch. We can choose new orders though. Complete 3 trade routes worth at least 6 amber. or deliver 50 grain. We don't have means to get grain yet, so let's see if we can start looking at the trade routes. Need for clothing fulfilled. We don't have any fabric, so that's going to be a hard one for now. 9 minutes to work through 2 dangerous glades. I don't think we're going to manage that. I want to take it a bit careful since this is my first game after being back for a bit. So I think we'll have to do this. I'm not really sure we can actually do for the oil or for the flour. Let's build that trading post though. This right here. And this is all off, so let's free up that worker. And the kiln is better at producing bricks, so we'll shut off bricks in this building. We immediately get our first trader. So they bring goods and they bring blueprints, which you can buy for Apper. Which we don't have actually, so there's nothing we can do. But we also have the trade route option, so we can venture to trade routes to get some extra money, which will always need some pack of provisions. So it's actually useful to start producing these as well if we want to do the trade routes, which aren't that good right now, but we do want to maybe produce a couple of them. We have some eggs, we have some meat. Let's see if we can maybe create like 9 of them and get that human back in there. We have almost broken through this glade. We have 2 free workers. I'm tempted to start building like extra woodcutter maybe. Not sure if that's the best thing to do though. We can create fabric though, but we don't have any leads. Let's place down at least the carpenter. We can make better versions of the planks. Let's disable tools for now and the luxury goods. Disable the planks here. It's quite a difference, right? So the crude workstation needs 8 wood for 3 planks, and the carpenter needs 5 wood for 3 planks. So let's put this to let's say 30. It's too bad we can't fit a beaver in here, but it is what it is. And now we're down to 1 free worker, and they are all still homeless. Do have some resources left though, so mostly humans. Let's get our first people some houses. Build their own homes. It is. our first house. I need to house 8 people and build like a decoration to be able to upgrade this, which will automatically happen if we meet these criteria. And what the first upgrade does is +2 to global resolve, which is nice. And resistance to corruption is higher. We're still in hostility 0, so there's no real reason like force that. Or rush that, I mean. Let's see if we can get some insects while cutting out trees. This has some fertile soil, that's nice. We have a farm. We can have that grain production up and running. Here. We also have a cache, an abandoned cache. With this cache, you have 2 options. You can break it open for certain resources. You get the resources, or you can send it to the Citadel, which will give you reputation and some gold. Since these are not as important, and we don't even have the tools. Can we make the tools? Nope. Let's build these fields first. We need to wait for the fields to be built to add people here. First new cornerstone. Detailed notes on different traders and their wares. Gain 1 additional active trade route slots. Traders will arrive 25% quicker. 3 grain per minute, which is nice, but okay. 3 packs of provisions for every new villager. Let's do that. That means we don't have to build them as create them as much, because you get 3 new villager, or even 4 if you want. So they bring their own provisions, which is great. Berries, eggs, and planks, or more planks and roots. I think we'll have to go with this. We can add the humans to the farm, and this will collect vegetables and grain. And we can always look at this. Where can we find? Oh, grain. Oh, these are recipes. I don't mean recipes. I'm not sure if I can find what I'm looking for. Ingredients, that was what I was looking for. Grain. So our field kitchen can use grain and water to create porridge. Or the beanery, granary, the grill. So we don't have actually a building that can make flour yet, which I think we need for one of the orders. Baby steps though. Let's first gather some grain. Do we have a new trade route? We do. But it's not very convenient because we don't have any of those. Get you out of there again. That human is also doing nothing. It is what it is for right about now. What we can do right now is maybe build an extra woodcutter's camp. Maybe right about here. It doesn't really matter because we can move them anyway. Clear out a bit of these woods around our safe haven. And we'll get our other woodcutter relocated to Guess this area? Let's get this cash though. So we... Oh, I can't do anything with it. We don't have the resources to break it open either. Not very handy. Get a dwarf in there. Harpies. Let's get to chopping. Supposed to speak for a bit. Let's see what we can do next. Look at the housing. We have 7 homeless humans. Let's build those. Let's at least get those humans situated. Stonecutter's camp has no deposits. That's very true. But we have more clay. Right here. Or move it there. Let's see. Okay, so we can pick new orders. With its scrolls and build a temple, farm field, and pack of crops. Or pack of crops. I'm tempted to go this one. Can probably make 15 of those in like 6 minutes. We have 15 of these. A bakery. Okay, +1 to production yields for all packs of goods. That's not very, very good, but it's okay. This one is okay as well. 4 people, +1 to every grain production and 8 parts. Do like the 15 tools as well, though. What to do? This one will probably won't fix in a short amount of time because we need 24 farm fields and we only have like 7, 6 even. So let's go with the timed one. And let's get 2 people in here. And we needed packs of crops. Give them all the resources. And they needed... What was it? Let's put this at 20. Yeah, so they needed 15. Let's see if they can make it within that time. Gonna be tight, not a lot of time. 6 minutes. It's already a minute gone and we haven't created 1 pack of crops yet. Oh, we have. They're still in here, right? New trader. Hello. And there's the bakery. You could even buy it for 20 gold. Which we won't. These aren't very good again. 10 roots produced. That could be useful. Could do this trade route. It'll give us 1 amber. So we'll we'll break even on this one because a pack of provisions goes for 50, 0.50. But at least it'll get us trade route done. pick this one as well. 5 glades or need for leisure? Let's go with 5 glades. We'll definitely get that one. Can we get to 18 amber? 18. That's quite a long way to go. So let's leave it as this for now. Where are those pack of crops? We have 4 in 2 minutes. We need 15. So I'm not that convinced we're actually gonna make this. Which is not good because it will limit us in a reputation point, because we can only have like these amount of orders. So if we don't make them, we don't get the rewards, we don't get the Queen's Grace, and we need to get reputation another way. First 8 are in though. If they keep working for a bit, we should be okay. The thing is to keep track of it, because even though they might have fixed it, but even though you might have enough resources, as long as you don't deliver it in time, this clock will keep on ticking. We have 8. Taking a break, I think. And we're in our next storm. As you can see, the Harper resolve is getting low, so we need to take a look at how we need to keep that in mind. 1.5 minutes. Not sure why this is taking so long, actually. Okay, we're there. With a minute to spare. Let's deliver it. We get our reward in a blueprint. We do leather for like crafting, so we can create fabric from leather. Let's see, can we create leather? Yeah, we can create. That might be our best. I think we have to, so we can get some fabric going and create some coats. So let's build a ranch and also actually build the ranch. As you can see, we now have both beavers and harpies that are at or below 0, which means that every well, in this case 48 seconds, so every minute probably, or every 50 seconds, one of them will leave, and that keeps on going until the resolve is above 0. Now normally you can favor certain species, so what that does, it would increase the resolve by 5 and lower the resolve of the other factions by 5, which is, in this case, it could just save like a villager staying in your village, but because we have this modifier, we can't actually use the favoring. Not too scared though, because they will leave in 40 seconds and our storm is only 35 seconds long, so we should be good. We can do, however, is sacrifice some extra wood and increase our resolve that way. very expensive because it costs 40 wood per minute. But it'll work for now. And we finished one more year. Let's check the trade routes. A pack of crops. Again, let's just do it so we can finish off that order. Get a new cornerstone. Gain 2 wildfire essence for every 2 completed dangers of glade events. Leave rainwater for a while. Reroll these. Exploration expedition, that could be good. The people are feeling oddly rebellious. Gain +1 global resolve for every 2 impatience points. So every time a villager leaves or dies, impatience increased by an additional 0.2 points. Let's pick that one. Normally don't pick that one, but let's see. Let's pick the parts because they are usually pretty hard to come by. How does that work? Vegan leather, I guess. Oh, this is to create leather. Yeah. So we feed them. Don't need eggs. Let's use this just for leather right now. For fabric, that's not a lot. Okay. Bakery. Biscuits. We need flour for that. Ray mail provisioner. We don't have those, right? Let's build this leatherwork. That's a huge building. Jeez. Now we can turn off this building completely. Besides the pipes, but we don't have any copper bars anyway. So that was our first episode of Against the Storm. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll pick it up in the next episode where we can hopefully continue on our path of finishing this run. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you at the next one. For now, take care and bye bye.